In retrospect, would you have raised when you did?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Because so when I raised investment, I was a solo founder, solopreneur. It was just me and the team.
Yeah.
I was my team. So, and it got to a point where there was, I had to raise money in order to for me to hire people to actually do stuff. And if I needed to move as quickly as I needed to, then I needed the money for that. So yeah, definitely. So what about you?
I think that we raised investment at the right time. We've done two rounds. We did an angel investment round, and then we did our second round was a seed round with a mix of angel investment and VC. And I think each time it was the right time in our growth to raise. So the first one was really, we just had, maybe an MVP, we had some customers, we had some vendors, we were starting to do feed deliveries, but we really hadn't quite figured out what sort of the real product market fit was. And then sort of we raised the angel round, and that really helped us actually hire better engineers and start to actually build something out and really get to the product that is the one that we're doing now. And it was sort of on finding that fit with our Cloud Canteen product was where we then went to raise the second round. Then that helped us scale, build out more functions, sort of get to a stable team. We're 20 now, and I think that raise really helped us get to a point where now we're able to build, we've got sort of a full suite of products, right? So we've got things for the different stakeholders and all the pieces are in place, and we've really figured out what it takes to acquire, what our lifetime of our customers is, and now we're just going out to another raise. We're going to Series A, and I think that we're the right time for that.
So how do you step away from your vision to serve the business's needs?
Oh, interesting. I think we've been very true to the vision that we have sort of the whole time, right? So our vision is really about helping people eat better every day.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that that's exactly what we're doing every day. It's not that every bit of what you do is sexy and fun, right? So you're not always doing the bit that you're yes, I'm out talking to people and, selling the vision. I feel like I'm doing the day-to-day a lot, especially in my role because I'm COO. We've got my co-founder CEO. But if you sort of keep that in mind, that you're always building toward the vision, right? And I think if you start to not feel like you are, then you're probably doing something wrong.
I don't feel like everything I do goes against the vision in terms of everything just kind of works hand in hand. So for me, our own vision is empowering women and girls to be better with their finances, so that they can have access to the lifestyle that they want. So everything that we do is kind of tied towards that. I don't think I've ever felt a time when we've done something that goes against that. So
How much did you have in the bank pre-investment, and how did you get to that amount?
Well, definitely no family and friends, but yes, I did put in my own capital. So I put it was roughly about £30,000 of my savings, which is basically the money I was saving towards a house. I was you know what, let me take this risk and invest into my business instead. So yes, it's roughly about 30 grand.
What did we have? So my co-founder actually had started Feedr before I joined, and she had sort of her own money and some family and friends money. I think we started with 50K. So that was our sort of really any investment round. That's what we put in. But that 50K got us, the first basic product, got us our first vendors, our first customers. We were actually doing business then. And that was enough to sort of get us to our next.
Yeah. Oh, cool. How did raising help you evaluate your business's needs?
So I actually think raising does, every time we go out and do it, so every time we talk to new investors especially, but our existing investors obviously, it does help us really critically evaluate where the highest points of value are in our business, and then brings us new ideas, to be honest. I think that when you meet with really smart investors, we've been lucky in that a lot of the people we've met are people who've been there and done that, right? They're ex-entrepreneurs, they exited for great exits. And when we first started, we had this question of, and we sort of come back to this, are we a sales organization or are we a marketing organization, right? And I think that's always been a question that we get with investors is, are you building a sales organization or a marketing run, right? And I think we more and more realize that we actually need a bit of both. That's this really interesting learning and discussion that we've had from having really great investors who are like B2B SaaS investors and others who built more consumer brands, and sort of having that knowledge.
Yeah. The first run I did was like a very small like angel round, it was 75k, and then this one is a much bigger round, which is about 600k. But speaking to like investors, both my current investors, my new investors, advisors, everyone, it sort of helped me sort of really understand what exactly is am I building. When I think about like when my vision was a year ago, it's not exactly the same as what it is now. Like it's much more refined, because like right now I feel like I know what my purpose is, I know what the business purpose is, and I think fundraising kind of does help you do that, because like when you're pitching a lot, when you're getting feedback from different people, you start to think about like, okay, what is it I'm actually doing? So that, and then you keep on like refining that, improving that. So it's definitely has done that. And even things like when you think about, okay, I'm raising X amount of money, what are the milestones that I want to hit in order to help me either raise my next round or maybe help me hit profitability and things like that. So all of that, you start to think about that during that whole fundraising process. Obviously before you meet investors, because you should know all that stuff already. But so it does actually give you that sort of clarity and guidance. Fundraising is a terrible experience. Everyone always says this, but it does actually, there are some benefits of the whole process.
What has becoming a founder taught you about your relationship with money? It's an interesting one for you, considering you have a money saving app.
So I've actually been quite good with money for a while, just because my parents kind of taught me how to be good with money. They also did the same thing with my siblings. All my siblings all did paper rounds from the age of 13 up until 18. So we've always kind of had that good relationship with money. Obviously, I worked prior to becoming an entrepreneur. I worked as a private wealth manager. So my job was about advising my clients how to manage their money and how to invest their money better and stuff. I mean, my clients were all millionaires, so not really the same bank balance, but it's the same concepts still apply.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just on a much larger scale. I think me having to spend my own money, like while I started my business, actually probably helped me a lot more compared to like if I had raised really early on, because I think when you've got like a limited budget, you tend to think about how you're going to spend that cash. Absolutely. Because you know that you don't have like a stupid amount of money to spend on X, Y, and Z. So a lot of times, like before I raised any investment, like all the stuff I was spending money on, I had to really think about it. And so many times I had to like really negotiate like prices down. Sometimes I got certain things for free, things that I would have to pay stupid money for, but I just found a way to get it for free. So I think that whole period helped me a lot. It actually taught me a lot about like managing money like as a business, because obviously I knew how to manage money as for my personal life, but from a business you don't think about like all of that. So it definitely gave me a lot of discipline.
I think it's very different, like knowing how to manage your money personally and managing money for a business. I think also managing long-term investments. So I managed sort of multi-million pound projects before. So I'd done project management, nonprofit project management. So we had a budget, multi-million pound budgets, and teams and, think targets to hit and things to run and staff and all that. So I'd done that piece before. And I think that what was quite a shift for me was moving to managing money when you knew that you were going to run out at a point, right? So you knew that you were like, okay, this is my budget. I'm running till here and I'm going to fundraise here, and we will run out of runway at this point. That took me a little bit to get comfortable with. And if anything, I wish that I want very quickly to be in a place where we fundraise for growth and we can be self-sustaining, and it's more of a choice, because I think that that's the bit that's always like, okay, I know it's a little counterintuitive to be running a business and being like, I know that we've got a point at which we have to fundraise, right? And I think that that's an interesting one.
So what sold your business to investors? The vision, the business plan, or something else?
For us, the investors certainly bought into the vision. I think they bought into the fact that they bought into the market, I think. So it's a huge market. We're in food, we're in healthy food. We're right on the edge of a lot of trends that I think are not going away. right? So the fact that people care more about their nutrition, the fact that people at the workplace need to invest more in their employees, you know, so they bought into that and our vision to really change that. I think that they bought into me and my co-founder and our ability to deliver on that.
Yeah.
And I think especially early stage.
Yeah, I think so for me, obviously because I'm still pretty early stage, so with my investor, like it was more about me.
Okay.
And he did say that like in our meetings that the reason why he was investing is because like he felt like I was the right person to do this, and because of my background in personal finance, my unnecessary love for luxury and just everything else, so he felt like, you know, I was the person who was like could create something like this and actually make it successful.
Right. How did you navigate and build relationships with investors? We've really sort of built relationships by being really honest and really asking for support and getting our investors as involved as we can in how we're building the business and getting them to advise or introduce or wherever they're specific, whatever they can do for us.
Yeah.
And I think continuing to engage them with that and being really honest about like the good and the bad and what's working and what's not working, and you know, how we, like when we have really big questions that we think maybe they can help us answer. I mean, I think that's really how we've built relationships, certainly with our existing investors and also with, you know, investors that we've met before they've invested in us. I think that you know, that's always been really, really important and really helped us.
Yeah. I think same here. Like it's all about like just being honest and open and being happy to like ask for advice, support, because I found that a lot of people, I mean, there are some people who don't really help that much, but a lot of people do help and are willing. So like for me, way long before I actually started fundraising, I started to build relationships by just like going to different events I knew VCs and angels were going to be at, making friends with people. So a lot of my friends now are, you know, investors themselves, like in the different VC firms, and just, you know, talking about my idea, talking about what I'm working on. I realized that from talking about it a lot to different people, then they're like, oh, that's interesting. I know someone who I can connect to who might be able to help you with this and that. Exactly. And it's like, you just, all of a sudden, you just have this crazy network. So I had to do a lot of reading, a lot of learning, a lot of like networking, just to kind of like really immerse myself into this whole crazy startup tech ecosystem. What's the most amount of money you've ever lost and where?
Probably in the business side, I would say like, we probably attended like a conference.
Oh, right.
You know, and paid the whatever. But yeah, so like we were like, this one, you know, we don't really do it. This one we think might be good. It was probably £500 or something like that for a stand, and sort of we were there, and you meet people and you talk to people, and like, but after actually looking at it afterwards, and you're like, that was no.
Worth it. Yeah.
And I mean, that's more of like a test in something, but I think I sort of look at it as one of those ones where I think I was like, I don't think this is going to be a good investment. My co-founder was like, I think it will. And that happens over a lot of other things that she's totally right. But this particular one, I remember being like, no, I don't think so, but fine, we'll try it. And then being like, that was useless. And I've definitely lost money on bad hires. That's something we've done.
God, yes. Okay, yeah.
Bad hires,
I've lost money
on bad hires. That's something you learn very quickly.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, hire someone and you're like, in a month, you're like, no, that was a waste of money. That was a waste of my energy and time.
I think for me, it's not even about just the money, it's the time.
Yes.
Because money will always come back somehow, but the time you just lost is the bit that really, really like gets to me. But I think it's one of those things that everyone goes through that. Like there's no founder who I've spoken to who's like hired multiple people and stuff who hasn't said I've definitely made some bad hires. Even like founders that I like really, really respect and who are so successful. They tell me stories of like terrible hires you've done early on. So I feel like, okay, it's not just me.
I think at every stage, right? They say hire slow and fire fast. Yeah. And like, I think that's right. We've definitely made some wrong choices, and you know, I think that you should know within a month if you've made a bad choice, and you should, like, because once you know, keeping someone around is just hurting everyone else in the team, and like 2 point lost time.
Yeah, exactly.